Started. This will be good. Got you guys here live on Facebook. I'm David Townley with Townley Pools. Got a couple folks here in the store, and we're going to do our Big Green Egg 101. So if you got a big green egg for Christmas and you still want to get some tips and techniques and tricks, please write in some of the comments. I'll go back later and I'll answer you guys' questions that you may have, and then we'll kind of go from start. So you've cooked on your egg here recently, and Lenny just got his egg literally day before Christmas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a pretty sweet deal. So this is a big green egg. What size? You have the large, and you have the extra large. Okay. Large egg is probably our most common size. It's an 18-inch diameter cooking grid, kind of standard stainless steel. And it's all made out of ceramic, and the beauty behind the egg is the way that it can keep the moisture, inside the environment. And you're cooking over natural lump charcoal, so just the charcoal alone makes it taste better. Couple things. This is called, everything that has the word egg in it, you guys probably already seen. This is the regulator, top, where you can do some of the regulations on the temp. And you've got your little reg vent down here at the bottom to control your air input and air exhaust. And then everything, you've heard the whole term, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So we want to keep the dome down while we're cooking. We've got our little temp gauge here, and a couple of the tools that we like to kind of accessorize the egg with is the grill gripper. Did you get one of these little grabbers? You can reach in here and grab the grate out of the middle, or flip it around and pick it completely up and out of the egg without having to touch it. It gets nasty and whatnot. Then you have the famous, the ash tool. Okay, and that's for stirring the charcoal, letting some of that loose stuff fall down. And then when you're ready, you use this as a rake, to rake out all the ash out of the bottom of your egg. And then lighter cubes. You got to have something to start this with. We tell people all the time, don't use any lighter fluid. You're going to either use one of these little compressed speedy lights, or like you said, you've got the Eggniter. Got to have an electric plug. How long do you think it takes you to light your egg with that, would you guess?
3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I would say probably within 30, 40 seconds, you got some sparks, and then within 2 or 3 minutes, you've got hot coals. You're ready to start.
I'll light it, 4 different places.
Okay.
Do big charcoal.
Just to get it speed. We're all about speed and instant gratification, in our society. So, okay, so here's some of the tools that we use. I'm going to hang these back up. And as you can see, we're a platinum level dealer, so we have everything. We've got all the accessories that you could possibly need for your egg, and we're here. Everybody that works here is an expert, so if you need any help, pick up the phone, give us a call, and we can walk you through stuff. We've got a lot of recipes that we can print out for you and give to you there. So let's talk about filling the egg with charcoal. People that have used charcoal grills in the past try to kind of lighten the load of charcoal. They don't put that much in there. They don't want to burn it all. They don't want to waste it all. And that's how it used to be, with charcoal grills. You'd cook, and then whatever you were done cooking, you would take all that charcoal and throw it away. Here, as you guys know, you light the charcoal, and then when you're done cooking, close the vents, snuff the flame out, and then the next time you're ready to cook, you just relight that same charcoal. So I tell people, don't be afraid to go ahead and fill it up. So in the bottom is the fire bowl or fire box, and then sitting on top of that is the fire ring. And I don't care if I'm cooking at 200 degrees or 600 degrees, I'm filling that charcoal up to pretty much the middle of that ring. So, it's a whole bed of charcoal. Sometimes you need that mass, that amount of charcoal in there to generate that heat and create it. So go ahead and fill it all the way up. And then when you light it, like you said, you can use the Eggniter a couple different spots, or you can use the little lighter cubes. And then when I do it, I open the top all the way open, and I open the bottom vent all the way open. And we're trying to pour air into this. So I'm probably going to mess this up for Boy Scout days, but a fire is fuel, oxygen, and heat in order to generate that. So don't be tempted to leave the dome open when you light it, thinking you're getting all this extra oxygen. You're losing that heat part of the equation. So that bottom vent all the way open, the top vent all the way open, you're getting plenty of air, convection in there. Leave the dome down to help generate and build up that heat. As you light it, don't overshoot the temp. Because if you get this thing up to 600 or 700 degrees, it is not going to cool back down. So you want to shoot for, I don't know, 50, 60 degrees below the temp that you're going to set. Start adjusting your vent. So if I'm going to do a brisket or something that's long, low and slow, 225, 250, as that needle comes off the peg at maybe 100, 150 degrees, I'm going to close the top vent half, and I'm going to close the bottom vent by about half, and slow that rate of acceleration as it heats up. And then as I get to like 175, 200, I'm probably going to close it half again, so that I've got, I don't know, it is 1/8 of an inch at the top and maybe 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. And then as I'm really trying to dial in 225, I'm going to have this just a credit card sliver open at the top, and same thing at the bottom. And then let it kind of hunt and peck a little bit of where it's going to go. If we can get 225, 235, if I'm going to do a long, low, and slow cook, I like to have it prove to me that it's going to stay there. So I don't want to get 225 and think, hey, everything's great, throw the meat, throw the food in there, and now the thing's 250, 275, and I choke the vents down, and then the flame goes out and it goes back down to 180. So I like to kind of set it at 225 and then let it go 20, 30, 40 minutes, proving to me that it is no kidding at that temperature. When you do get ready to put the food in there, you guys have probably seen too, you want to burp your egg. And what that means is you just kind of lift it up just a little bit and let some of that oxygen do its little exchange. You've got an oxygen deprived cooking environment in here. So we just kind of want to lift the egg, burp it, and then pick it all the way open. If you just come over here and lift this open, you no longer have arm hair. Okay, it's gone. It will backdraft big time. And you'll see people on Facebook all the time, no arm hair, no eyebrows for me, no beard. It would be terrible. So burp the egg as you want to pick it up. Once you get your egg, maybe a little bit past that, but we want to keep the first couple cooks below 350 degrees or so, 300, 400 degrees. And we're letting that gasket kind of set. So probably 2 or 3 cooks at that, and then wide open, crank it up, you're ready to go. So that's how to start it. And if you're cooking, you know, brisket, pork butt, ribs, you're doing that probably indirect cooking. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys, push those back. The convector, okay? And this used to be called a plate setter, but in order to get the word egg in there, it's a convector. So you're getting convection cooking around. And how you'll put that in is you'll take your grate out, and then the convector is going to sit on top of the ring, firing inside the egg, and then you'll put your grate back down on top. And there's 2 ways to put that in, feet up or feet down. And people ask, well, what's the difference? So I'll have you guys come look. If you go feet up, you can see it's a much smaller gap of air. So you're getting more smoke and you're not getting as much airflow. You're getting a lot more convection cooking. If you go, hold that for me, let me think, feet down, this is where you'd put a pizza stone here, and now you've got a much bigger air gap. You're still indirect cooking, but more air's coming. So you're getting your pizzas, you know, your real high temps, but you still have that deflector. So there'll be a difference between cooking it feet up or feet down. So people also ask, if you go feet up, do you need to put a water pan in there? And I tell people all the time, no, I don't ever put a water pan in there or a drip pan. People want to wrap their convector with tin foil to keep it clean, and you're talking about a real mess on your hands, because now you've got this greasy, oily tin foil that comes off in tinsel, you know, when you go to clean it. So I just put the convector in there just like that. It's completely black. It's got grease. It's got all that cooking, you know, juice on it. So just let it go. Same thing if you go feet down. You could cook your pizza right on the bottom, but that thing is pretty black and pretty dirty, pretty nasty. So you may want to have a separate pizza stone to stick on the bottom of the convector when it's feet down in there. And again, that's for indirect cooking, your low and slow type stuff. Grilling burgers, grilling chicken, you just got the grate in there. You know, your 350, 400 degrees. And then when you're doing the steaks, you know, you can crank that thing up 600-700 degrees on it. When you go to shut it down, when you're done cooking, if you just come out here and you just close the top and close the bottom, you've got a lot of heat in there. You know, it's again 400 degrees. Especially if you're doing steaks at 700 or 800 degrees, it's too much heat to leave trapped in. So what I'll do is I'll leave the top wide open, and like if I'm cooking at high temps and the bottom's open, I may close it half, but leave this open, let some of that air escape 10 minutes or so. Then I'll close the bottom all the way, another 10 or 20 minutes, let some of that heat escape, and then I'll start closing the top. So it's probably a 30-minute shutdown process if you're cooking real hot temps. And then, like I said, you're good to just light that charcoal all over again, reuse it after time. Maintenance on the egg for future maintenance or preventative maintenance, you can go around and tighten all the little nuts that go around it. Those will kind of sometimes work themselves loose. You know, you can see, I'm going to spin this around. You know, the bands back here, you want to tighten all the nuts on the hinge. And don't be afraid when you see these hinges. I mean, cranking that thing down, this bolt may end up bending at some point. But don't be afraid, because you could actually touch those two pieces of metal together. You can't crack the dough when you put that even pressure on there. Moving the egg, if you need to move it around, you know, I always tell people, you know, we want to put 2 hands on it. It's pretty heavy. You can start pushing this thing, and then you hit a bump in the sidewalk and timber, there it goes. Not warranty, by the way. As far as the eggs warranty, lifetime on the ceramic, on the dome, on the base, lifetime ceramic warranty on that fire bowl and the fire box, the fire ring. And if you ever need anything warranty wise, you can take a picture, you can text it to us, come in, and we will just hand you a new one. It's super easy, super nice. And that's it. That's the absolute basics of the Big Green Egg. No lighter fluid and natural lump charcoal are probably your 2 biggest takeaways for the new egg owners. Okay, any questions? And if you guys have questions online, again, type them into the comments, and I'll go back later today and I'll answer them. So.